cheeseburgers ever.
Welcome back. Green ESTP in the chat said, "Wake me up when this is over," as we were having the discussion beforehand. So wake up, buddy, because now you're onto the best part of the OPL, which is more talking until we're ready for the next game to start. So we're glad that you could join us. Before we get into Bryce's comic, which I'm very excited about, I have no idea what it is, but I saw...
some flourishes.
Lots
Flourishes of the hand.
You're a very expressive drawer, and there seemed to be a liberal use of color, which I was excited about. Yeah. In Search of Shoe in Twitch chat got a little angry at me during the game.
Oh dear.
Yeah, which is and it's hard.
so funny.
It's hard to take seriously anger from someone called In Search of Shoe.
Yeah.
Because they can't even find their own shoe.
I also love that it's like you're on camera and it's like the little chat is like, oh, I hate this guy. Oh, God damn it. Yeah.
That's how most
What'd
of
you
them
do, Nick?
are. Well, I sort of said that Quidditch was a piece of shit sport.
Oh, yes.
And In Search of Shoe came out and said, I actually played Quidditch. I toured Australia playing Quidditch.
What?
And apparently Australia pretty damn good at Quidditch. I got linked to some Wikipedia pages. The Australian national Quidditch team made its debut at the 2012 at the International Quidditch Association Summer Games in Oxford. The Australian team, the Drop Bears, which I feel like is our team name for everything, competed at the IQA Global Games in 2012 and 2014, coming third and second.
Oh.
In 2016, the Drop Bears beat America 150 to 130, whatever that scoreline means, to win the World Cup in Germany.
So good.
So I'm now pro Quidditch.
Yeah.
If we're going to win, you have to be pro whatever it
Exactly.
is.
You called it a terrible sport.
Yeah.
Unless we win at the
And just
sport.
because you win it means it's okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look,
That's
we're
such a, you have
bandwagoners
such a
over
low
here.
bar for sport.
Well, no.
Stick to your guns, Nick Boy. Where's the... I don't know. I don't trust what you say anymore if you're going to flip-flop in one segment like that.
Did you ever trust anything that I say ever? I am the AI that learns from you, Benji. I am the one taking over. I mean, it's still a terrible sport, but I'll back it.
I really need... I don't understand how does it work. Is it a real broomstick that you...
Do you have
like,
to,
is
like-
there a regulation
I feel like
broomstick?
Straddle and run.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, it's like it makes sense that Australia is good because it's like remarkably similar to AFL. Like you have like a big,
dumb.
Yeah,
no, you
the
have like the
broom.
big gold and you have the little
The
crappy gold that
golden
like if you can't
snitch.
actually score one, you get some bonus points and
Yeah.
it's like
Apart
you know
from
what I
in
mean?
Quidditch, they're all worth the same.
Say again?
In Quidditch, they're all worth the same.
Oh, well, look, I
Right,
tried.
okay.
There's literally
know
a
about Quidditch.
golden
So-
snitch.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. We're getting live updates from In Search of the
Okay.
Shoe. It's a full contact sport, Benji.
Oh,
I like it more already.
No, it's not. I don't know what that was in reference to. And then they scream out, yes. But then they said, there are, oh my God. And I'm saying this as someone who's on an esports broadcast. Even this is too nerdy for me. There are regulation brooms that you have to use. So you can't just bring the home broom along with
Yeah.
you. Like you need to use an actual
Yeah, you
broom.
need a firebolt or
And-
a Nimbus 2000 or something.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's fine when they actually fly. When they fly, it's dope. When you're running around like it's some sort of...
You got a horse.
Yeah, get the
exactly.
horse head on it.
Surely-
That'd be
Yeah.
the best. Yeah,
surely there's some chafing involved.
Well, there's got to be technique to the run, and that's what we need to know next.
That is... I mean,
I
asked,
feel like this is a Quidditch segment waiting to happen.
I feel...
I'm going to go out on a limb. What were they called? Drop
Search of
Bears?
Shoe.
Yep.
Drop
Oh.
Bears? I would like to officially challenge you to a Quidditch 5v5. The broadcast team from the OPL versus apparently the best in the world.
Do you remember
I am so excited
when
by
we
that.
said there is no sport that we lose at besides rugby to
Besides
order?
rugby to order,
Maybe
that was the
this
only
is
one.
the weakness that we didn't know we
How
had.
hard could it be to run around with a broom between your legs
Have you done it?
every day? This is so In Search of the Shoe is just going insane in the chat right now. Can I just come on cast and explain this? No. And apparently it's 7 versus 7. So we're going to need to find.
No, they need
a
to cut
ringer.
2 members.
You need to cut 2 members.
Hold on, let's
preferably-
cut one, cut the chasers, that bullshit snitch nonsense. We'll just get rid of that.
But isn't the
like,
snitch
and
how
then
you
2
win?
people
It's literally
gone.
how the game ends. So we're
No,
just playing
can't
forever.
you score?
No,
And then if
but
you
the
get
game
the snitch-
only ends if you catch the snitch.
In the books,
Do
there
you
was like a
read?
game that
I
went
haven't
on
read
for
the
like
books,
3
no.
days or something,
Yeah.
where
Oh.
like no one found the snitch.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't read that. God.
You haven't read Harry Potter?
No. What did I read? I read Artemis Fowl. I read.
I mean, that's a good one. But
I read some
Did you,
other.
did
you re- you do
decode
realise-
the bottom of Artemis Fowl?
Sorry.
At the bottom of Artemis Fowl, there were all codes on the different pages
Oh.
that you could download a translation sheet because it was actually written in fairy, and then you could translate the whole book.
Ah,
You guys
Interesting.
didn't do that?
No.
I did
I
that.
love
did not do that.
translations. They're my favorite.
Can I just say,
a
I
lot.
find it very ironic that you haven't read Harry Potter because you are Harry Potter. You sleep kind of like in a
He's got his
Under
little
the stairs.
cupboard.
like weird cupboard couch situation.
leaving a
You
dog
can't
away?
afford to charge your phone, the glasses. Like you're clearly the hero of the OPL, but you're kind of just like the most bland. So yeah, it just makes sense. So we need to get you onto those books. All right. But speaking of books that you have made, Bryce, you
Yes.
have made a comic book,
Yes, I have.
which
I
is
took
surprising
some.
for someone who doesn't read.
Excuse me, my comic book I can definitely read was an absolute banger last time, and it comes with a bit of preamble. You know, I believe yes, everybody in this room is Australian. An Australian classic. I've gone kind of a little bit back in time. I feel like this book isn't targeted towards the OPL fans of now or us of now. It's a few years in the past.
I'd say
but
us as children, maybe.
Interesting.
yes,
Oh,
children.
So this
and
is
you
a
did
kids
like
comic.
Yeah, this is like a kids comic, and you did like children's teaching, right?
I did primary
Yeah,
teaching.
the bloody
yes.
expert. So it's about our main character. He's a little bit hungry, right? And on Monday he ate through a single apple, but then he was still hungry. On Tuesday he ate through 2 pears, and unfortunately after 2 pears he was still just bloody hungry. And then on Wednesday he made it all the way through 3 plums. At the end of the day he was still
I
hungry.
give you runs 3 plums.
On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, and he was still hungry. And then, of course, we got to OPL day. We got to Friday, and our little friend, the very hungry caterpillar, unfortunately made his way to the OPL's hairline. And so we have the very hungry hairline, OPL edition. And there it is. There's my book.
If you were going to make a line for Friday, what would you say?
A line for Friday, and he ate through the entire hairline.
The entire
The
hairline.
entire hairline.
And whole hairline.
I just
Actually-
find it very ironic that the man with the hairline that has receded to his literal
This
back
isn't
of his
about
head.
you. Don't be so selfish. Look at Nick. We got hella the OPL. Like it's OPL
Even
edition.
Benji, the ring in today,
yeah,
has a
we
high
got.
hairline.
Look. On the OPL, we're very much lacking in hairlines.
Oh
and
my God.
This is to blame.
Hey, so on this
This is to blame.
topic, which is completely not the topic, right? But have you seen for kids' books now that do you remember those, like, what were those view scopes that you could have
Oh,
where
yeah.
you would
Yeah,
hit it
yeah.
down
Click
Oh, those
and
are
it'd go
cool.
around?
Yeah.
There's new ones, if you haven't got this, father to father, where you put them on your phone and you put your torch on and
Ah.
it projects it onto the roof.
What?
And then you can flick through it. Jasper loves
Yeah.
the very hungry caterpillar. It's
Ah.
because it has a sun in it and he's obsessed with the sun.
That was
That's
very wholesome, and then that was really
Yeah,
just
because
like
I'm a nice
enormous
human
flame.
being and he's a degenerate. But
The problem is, Bryce, now that you've said that, everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, they do have a
Yeah,
high
can we
hairline.
cut back here? I
No
wanna
one
look
knew
at
anything
hairlines.
before you pointed
It's
it out.
true. It's true. We're all very. Look, we broke Jake.
well, no. Do you know what happened? I was trying to help a player. I think I've told this story before. Benji, you're going to be my prop, right? So I jump
Just
in the
wait, it was
players.
Spooks.
It was Spooks.
It was Spooks.
I'm trying to help Spooks. His pathing is atrocious. So I'm going through his pathing with him. Any pathway needs to learn a thing or two. And he's standing behind me, and he's watching, and he's going, yep. And then he just starts doing this, and he goes, hey, JT, have you noticed you're going bald? So I went and shaved my head at lunch.
Oh God.
That's why I had a bald head for a year. Because of Spooks.
Because of Spooks.
That's
True
really
story.
rude,
I mean,
Samuel, just so you know.
That hurts your self-confidence, guys. Come on.
On other news, Sully's starting for the foreseeable future. So
And also, if that story is any indication, come tomorrow, there's just going to be full bald guy sitting here today and Rusty. All
Big
right,
hair
well,
gang.
well done, Bryce. That was much better than it had any right to be. Especially considering you spent, I would say, 25 minutes yelling at me, Rusty, going, what am I going to draw? What am I going to draw? So you've done very well. What are you guys going to draw? Send in your comic covers. You can win yourself a HyperX gaming headset. Cloud Alpha Series. It is the official headset of the OPL. It is a very good headset. I can attest to it because I've used this one personally. So you not only get the headset, you also get a little bit of my DNA there on your ear
Actually, all
cups.
spent 3 months each wearing this one, so enjoy.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know?
I didn't
You
know.
were last in line.
I was right. Oh God! So I've got all of you on me. How disgusting. But also, while we're just talking about things that viewers have sent in, I just want to say this very fancy mug that I got sent. It says, "Yeah, Nick Boy," from the
That sounds
from
so
Rift
sad when you
Rivals.
don't commit.
Yeah, well, it's like we're all very
Yeah.
close here. But Rift Rivals from last year. Sarah sent this in. Thank you very much, Sarah. Yeah. All right. Good. Send in your comics because you can win the DNA headset. Let's throw it at the McDonald's Champ Select.
Thank you, Nick Boy, I guess.
Yeah, Nick boy.
We're about to jump into the Champ Select. It's our last game of the day, and I actually think this is my most anticipated game of the day for me, at least.
Is it? What is it?
It's Mammoth versus Bombers.
Oh, yeah, this should be a good game. I
Should
think
be
that Mammoth are the only undefeated team
Correct.
left in the OPL. Bombers obviously defending champions. They have made 2 substitutions, roster changes. Wilder in over the rookie of the split in Volcan, and obviously FDI left for the Golden Guardians and the greener pastures of LA that aren't really green. Victor sucked in there in the middle of a drought, and it's a very dry place to live. Hope you get eczema or something. And they've got Luch now as their starting 80 carry. So, yeah, this is an exciting Bombers lineup.
Mammoth made one change as well. They've swapped out their top laner Tapoon, or swapped him out, but they've got the rotating top lane now.
Yep.
They brought Fudge in, and they weren't using his split 1 because he wasn't old enough.
Correct.
So he's a this is a young kid. He has just turned 17, which is our minimum age, and he has performed very well so far.
Yeah, Fudge Cake is a freak show, to be honest. Like, people have known about this guy for the last 2 years, and I feel like Richard Sue, Fantix, Perfection, whatever you want to call him, has really taken him under his wing and bullied every other general manager into backing away from his protege. Even swapped to the top lane for a little bit and helped Fudge out a lot with his champion pool and his laning mechanics. So I think, inarguably, probably the most anticipated player that has ever come out of Host Challenger in a way.
That shot just then of Fudge with Fantix behind him, exactly backing up that story.
That's Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi right there.
There you go.
Before he slaughtered all the children in the Jedi.
All right, we're going episode 2, are we? Okay,
Yeah.
or episode 3 even. Let's dive into this match. So Bombers currently 1-1 in this split, and last split they had a fantastic run.
Yep.
First place in the regular season, won the final, went to MSI.
Crushed the final.
They did, but if they start the first 2 weeks of the OPL 1-2, that's to me not coming out of the gates very well, and I'm very curious to see whether these changes for Bombers have been a downgrade, not just a side grade.
I think at the moment it's inarguable that you take a mid laner and you put him in a role for 3 months over the offseason against the best 80 carry that has ever played on the Oceanic server, in my opinion, then it's going to be a downgrade initially.
Okay.
But I always said that I feel like I throw Bombers and Direwolves in the same category. I don't care how many games they win in the first round robin, the first 7 games. We play 3 round robins in the OPL.
Yep.
I think they're going to be thereabouts, the 3rd, 4th, maybe even 5th mark, and they'll be looking to make a gauntlet run. And I think that from everything I've heard from the Bombers camp, they're really comfortable and really kind of confident that Wilder and Luch will get there. It's just a matter of time, and Rogue's a really smart support, and I think that, Luch and Rogue have always got on historically really well, so it's a good pairing in my eyes.
Yeah. Touching on that round robin thing, we do run a triple round robin. If you want to see a proper sort of snapshot of where teams stack against each other, check after week 3, day 1, sorry.
Yep.
That'll be a full round robin. You'll see everyone's played everyone once, and you'll sort of understand from that. Right now, it's super early. Mammoth 2-0, cool, that's great. Who'd they play? Maybe they played 7th, 8th. We don't really know yet, but that's what as we see more games, we'll start to really understand how this league shapes out. But after that first round robin, that's when we sit there and go, okay, this is where we sit. How's playoffs going to look in 6 or 7 weeks' time?
Yeah, absolutely, and we're already into Champions Select. It's going to be Rise, Aatrox, Aurelia taken away from Mammoth. They pick up Yuumi first pick, Silas, Sona, as well as the Nautilus. So very strange pick ban again coming out here, Benji. I feel like maybe more akin to Game 2 than what we've seen any other of the drafts, but I feel like this priority in Nautilus and Sona is wildly different from team to team. And I've kind of talked about this in the past, but you can really tell who scrims against who based off bans. If all of a sudden only Chiefs and Mammoth, we'll just throw out random, they obviously weren't scrimming because they played each other week 1, are the only 2 teams banning Sona, there's a pretty good chance that they are the 2 teams playing Sona against each other in scrims, and it's doing very, very well.
Yeah.
So I like to kind of read into these pick bans and have a look at kind of how we're going.
Yeah, and as a coach, let's say, part of your job is going through these drafts and not only looking at the picks, but looking at, okay, these are the bands. Who are they playing? There's so much depth and analysis that teams can do and so much to prepare.
Yep.
Just to give a bit of an insight into what a job of a coach is, because it's not just standing on stage like Fantix is now and reading out a few picks. There's days of, all week they spend combing through data information. Let's go through these picks quickly. So Yuumi, Lucian is the bot lane, and they've picked up Nico. On the other side for Bombers, it is Siva Lux most likely in the bot lane, and they're currently hovering the Jace. to round out their first rotation.
Yeah, and we talk about the 6 OPs. So the 6 OPs right now are Flexes, and you talk about Ryze, Aatrox, Aurelia, Silas, Nico Jace. Generally are what you're looking at. Now, I feel like in this matchup, they take the Nico because it has a pretty good laning phase into a couple of those matchups that we've already mentioned. I'm interested in this Yuumi Lucian, however, because we saw this in the LCK for the first time this week. Yuumi Sivir was the undisputed best lane down there in the bottom lane.
Yep.
And then what happened is if you first pick Yuumi, everyone takes Sivir away.
Yep.
And Lucian seems to be a really good replacement because with the low cooldown dash, being able to take Yuumi in and out of these fights, give her those easy hops, you want to start on the AD carry, hop onto the front liner and be able to get your ultimate across multiple people and look for kind of that full engage, then be able to hop back. Lucian kind of does that better than any AD carry, I feel like, right now. And I really like the draft that's come out of Mammoth.
Absolutely, and that with that information, you can see the pick away from Sivir is a pick away, but I imagine Lucian's got some experience on it. Lux is interesting. It's the second time we've seen it today, and it did well last game, obviously, because it won, but it's a scary champion. If you're in the bot lane, you can miss 10 bindings, but if you hit one, suddenly you can turn fights and win the lane very quickly. Olaf walked away. Let's have a look at these bans quickly. Jace and Trundle coming through. Jace a priority pick for a lot of teams. Actually, we've seen that banned and picked a lot today. And then Kennen and Rumble banned. Double top lane hit from Mammoth.
Yeah, really nice bans there because Mimic is a really great mage player. I was going to say he also has a mean Poppy and a mean Gnar. They're like kind of his two most played. Also played a little bit of Gangplank when he first came to the OPL, but I feel like that was broken Gangplank territory.
Yeah.
This is kind of more his wheelhouse and matches up kind of all right against the Nico. Going to have good team fight presence. Gnar's always kind of been like a safe blind pick in the top lane and obviously want to give a lot of priority to Ryoma. And why would you not? Ryoma at the moment I feel like is absolutely on fire. This guy is a god in the mid lane. And going up against Triple, who's also very scary in his own right, needs to be able to win that mid 2v2, I think, for the Bombers comp to come online.
Absolutely. Gnar's obviously a good pick. Mimic, the MVP from last split, so he's a very big threat. He's still a fantastic player. And you can also notice the respect from Mammoth. There's 5 bans that gone towards him. Looking over at the Mammoth team, Jarvan has been picked up for the jungler spot. Currently looking at the last solo lane position. It looks like it's going to be Azir, most likely the mid lane.
Blind Azir. Interesting.
Counter pick potential here for Ryoma.
Yeah.
Does he have a good matchup into it? Or is
I mean, he has everything available. He's got all the assassins, so he's got something like LeBlanc that historically has done fantastically, and he's a big LeBlanc player. I mean, even if you want to go towards, you know, things like Zed, things like, I mean, you can even take scaling matchups into the Azir, things like Orianna that he's historically played very well. I expect it to be the LeBlanc. Certainly the best matchup I can see, and that is a very interesting blind pick in the current meta. We've spent the whole day talking about how quick the game is and how you should be able to end sub 30 minutes. We've seen one team in the Direwolves buck that trend for me so far with that Scion pickup. The Azir pickup needs to go to 3 items. If not, it's just strictly worse than a lot of the mid laners in the current meta. And Ryoma is going to have him covered from 1 to 3 very heavily in this game.
Absolutely. Even past 3, like Ryoma, Triple as an Azir is quite immobile. He does have a dash, but like once you've used that, you're kind of stuck. And getting into team fight, it's all about positioning for it. As LeBlanc makes team fight positioning difficult.
A nightmare.
You can't just like stand in a spot and have like a front, like a fire line. You've got to sort of worry about the long block coming from left and right. You got to peel back. It's difficult. And the CC here from Bombers is great, but not much so far on the Mammoth side.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the big go button in, you know, the Babip ultimate. I expect to see this is going to be on hit Nico, most likely, to be able to bully out the side lane, really go at the mini Gnar. So maybe not much from Fudge. However, he does have the option to go Spooky Ghost into GLP with the kind of Super Soaker build that slows everyone down. Kind of touching on the LeBlanc, just like one last time, she's a real strange assassin. Because if you flank, if you're looking for a flank against LeBlanc and she catches you, she can kill you. So generally what that means is you have to group. But she's one of the only assassins that can double distort, so her W, big AoE spell, and like chunk people to like 60, 40% health, somewhere around there, depending on how tanky you are. So it's like a strange threat, because her single target damage, if she prioritizes, you know, the Qs and gets the chain procs, is very high. But she also has the option for AoE damage as well. So kind of in a unique position as far as assassins goes to be able to cope with both sides of it, which is why I think you still see a very high prevalence in these metas.
Absolutely. As we learn of the Rift here, we see the teams spreading out here. We see pretty standard matchups that we expect here. Both teams sort of facing off here. My curiosity here is who's got the early tempo advantage, do you think, Spawn?
I think that right now, I mean, Olaf is just like the quickest jungler in the game, so he's going to be able to jet around Summoner's Rift really, really well. You can see BABIP has the read on that, so starts himself a machete. That means that, you know, as Jarvan, he's looking to go single camp clear, you know, maybe something like red, Gromp, blue, maybe a wolf camp in there because they don't do all that much damage. But Olaf going to look to put the first camp on very quick clear. This is going to be a warrior Olaf out of Wilder. He's probably going, because he's running the Conqueror as well, so he can brawl very, very early, and BABIP's probably going to have to dodge him for a lot of this early game.
So tell me about Olaf, because we've seen a little bit of it today.
Yep.
You mentioned the warrior build. Like, what are the two builds you go with Olaf, and what are the differences? Why would you pick him?
So with Conqueror, you generally go warrior. It gives you a lot better dueling potential and a lot better ganks. If you get behind people. If you don't play warrior, then you go Cinderhulk. You generally even avoid building the item at all for the early stages of the game. You just go some movement speed. And then you go something like the Predator. So, you know, what we see generally is you build towards Barmy Cinder or something. Then you go for the Righteous Glory. You build the Predator and you look to just run people down. I feel like this build with Black Cleaver gives him genuine threat at 2 items. You do get outscaled after that because you are kind of just squishy in team fights. But as the game is so quick, as we keep going back to, it shouldn't really be a problem. So I certainly think that this Olaf has a really nice place in the meta at the moment. Okay.
Good to know. There you go, Olaf players out there, or aspiring Olaf players. I want to try it out. We see the vertical jungle start here. Olaf was spotted going and taking the red, so BABIP's going to take him his own back just to get the 2-buff start. Pretty standard right now, and the focus right now is BABIP on the top side and Wilder on the bot side here, but most of it is just going to farm a bit here.
Yeah, and Wilder does a really cool thing here. He crosses back through mid. He now has a lane to be able to fight BABIP, and BABIP, you can see, top lane fairly neutral, mid lane pushing in, so BABIP's in some trouble. Has no flag, Benji.
No, he didn't take his flag. He's going to be in trouble. He took his W. There's no plant here to get over. Nara is rotating around as well. He does get over the wall. He does did have flag.
He had it. He used it at the Raptor camp is what I meant, so it was on about a 9-second cooldown, so he had to take Wilder for a 9-second jog to be able to get away from there. Wilder's kind of pinging.
He's following, though. Like, that's a half health per BIP, and lanes are pressured.
Absolutely. But Nico right now can rotate across, so needs to be very aware of what Fudge can do.
Oh, Flash comes down, going forward, but BIP has still got his Flash as well. Shouldn't die. He does Flash the wall, forced out by Wilder. Nico is coming over. Fudge. Oh, they're looking to do something here. Here comes BIP over the wall. Might be in trouble, though. So be careful of damage. First Fudge just dies. Fudge trying to follow it up onto Wilder. He's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do, turn it around. So be careful, because Wilder does heal a lot. Looks like Smite going down, get some health back. Over the wall, here comes Naganar. Flashing forward, does get away. Wilder turns it around and gets away with his life as well.
But what a play out of Mimic. He freezes a wave in front of his turret, so he's losing nothing right now. In fact, it is Fudge just losing it, then goes and saves his jungler. This is why people talk about Mimic as being one of the great players in the OPL. He wins both sides of that trade. And now Fudge is stuck in this long lane. The wave will slowly push back towards him, but, you know, cannot sing the praises of Mimic enough. Because that looked like a double buff Nico with Glacial Augment. Would have been a nightmare to lane against, but he somehow turns it around.
Absolutely. And now the advantage is in Olaf's field. When Olaf gets kills, I see a lot of snowball games spawn, and I think this might be the start of one. Obviously, Mammoth, a lot of room to come back, but BABIP right now didn't get that camp, lost his buffs. He's going to have a real rough clear here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when you have a look at how bottom lane is even going, this has been an isolated 2v2, and Rogue and Luch are winning it by about 8 CS, which is over a minion wave at this stage of the game. Certainly a big deal.
Oh no, BIP caught out again. He's just flag and drag away, but that's still more. Like, he's just forced back, not getting farm, not getting vision.
And you can see Wilder doing something that Papa Smithy coined battle warding, which is where you just go find the enemy jungler. You know, you don't muck around with doing your own camps. The easiest way to get a lead is by denying them camps. And with bottom lane pushed up to turrets, with no abilities, BABIP again could be in trouble here.
Did Wilder get that camp? I think he did. No.
It was BABIP. Very nice smite there from BABIP.
Saw his opponent appear, smited it immediately. He's going to get that camp. The bot lane can rotate a little bit too easily here for Mammoth, so wasn't a great place you want to stick around in.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Wilder, he knows that bottom camps are on cooldown. He left up one of the Raptors and then saw that it had been cleared, so kind of knows what the spawn of that is as well. But this has been a double Scuttle Crab and already going to be the red smite picked up for the Olaf. And look at how many camps he has available. He has from Gromp all the way up to Krugs with only red buff missing. We'll be able to just put all of them on cooldown at such a fast pace.
Yep, you look at the other side, but Vic has only got his Gromp left. There's no Scuttle Crabs up for him. He has to invade to get any CS right now. So he's actually going to do that on the top side.
He's actually giving blue buff over to Ryoma, which I think is a little bit interesting for a couple of reasons, right? He had an opportunity to grow his own individual lead to the extreme, because with blue buff, he kind of farms much quicker.
Yeah.
But on top of that, he's just given away his position to BABIP, and BABIP is terrified right now. He knows he must invade to get some form of gold, but he's scared that potentially Wilder has to deploy back towards the top side of the map. With Ryoma moving towards that blue buff there, Wilder just gives away his exact position, and that means BABIP can go for this play off the priority that Fudge has in the top lane to be able to pick up some easy farm for himself.
Absolutely. Mimic was surrounded by 2 there, but he's going to play that nice and safe, and Bip is going to return to his own jungle. We do see Wilder rotating to the top lane. This game so far has been a tale of junglers as they move in and out. In fact, look, Olaf and Jarvan here doing a bit of back and forth. I don't know if he's spotted. Ryoma's looking for something here. He does some damage in the mid. Oh, there you go. Bip's been spotted out. He's going to get caught out here. He CC'd up. There goes, oh wow, the flag does not go down. In fact, Bip gets CC'd. He's dead. Ignite going out as well. Triple going in. Does ult forward, looking to pick him up. Fudge is teleported in. This fight is still going. Nico is going to ult and pick up the return kill.
Yeah, you can see all of a sudden Mimic looking to rotate down, but it's too late to that. Does not opt to use his teleport. So a very good heads-up play from Fudge, being able to save his mid laner there. Triple was in some trouble. You know, even though it looked like that was a proactive play, if for whatever reason that teleport is cancelled, which it could have been, I believe it came out of base, would have been very hard. Now we see Rogue and Luch once again looking to continue to bully this bottom lane.
Yep. I got to push back and forth. This bot lane here is, the CS is actually a bit more even now. It's like it's a fairly even. I think the junglers will need to apply pressure here, or a big mistake will need to come out before we really see some big action down here.
Yeah, Rogue just destroyed a creep for Luch, so Luch is not going to like that one. I feel like at this stage of the lane, you know, with the fact that it's a pickaxe plus double longsword, whenever Luch wants to push, he can push. He just throws ability at the waves. Destiny is going to look for poke onto him with that Zumi, the Yumi Q. So the fact that they, you know, are able to just tank that one up with a spell shield, obviously that gives Siva mana back, is very good. And Wilder going to look to use this priority from the bottom lane, use the fact that Triple has gone back to base, doesn't have teleport, to secure the first dragon of the game.
Yep, they'll pick up that dragon pretty easily. The bot lane is sort of back and forth a bit there. Wanted to make sure that this Lucian and Yumi weren't coming up. But Wilder will smite away that buff, and that's the first dragon. Next dragon is Inferno, which is some better dragons than we've seen in some of our previous games.
Oh.
Jump over the wall. Respect given to Ryoma.
Absolutely, because once again, he still doesn't have flash. It's only just come back off cooldown and had about 3 seconds left when he went over that wall. So, you know, if anything goes wrong there, it's going to be a little bit of a disaster.
Bit of poke there by Ryoma onto Triple now. Keep him low health. Fudge here, popping his ult. In fact, damage coming down onto Gnar. Gnar's not got Mega Form. He's going to get more Rage Bar coming up. He's quite high health. Just heal. Actually, this is going to be rough. He's going to have to jump over the top. Boomerang has to flash to avoid that CC. And now he's looking to turn. Look at that Rage Bar. He hits a CC there. He's going to transform in a second. Here he's looking for it.
Does not have the hop available, it looks like, and jungle's converging. Here we go.
He's going in. He's baited it out, but Bip's coming in there. Flash drag comes through. But Bip knocked into the wall, but he is killed. And Wilder cannot react in time.
Yeah, the reason he can't react in time is because BABIP just ticked over to level 6. So that means it had the ability to lock him in that ultimate. Yumi ult use.
Wow, Rogue having to heal coming out of that one. That was a lot of CC coming down. But just force him off the wave there. So a little bit of a trade in the advantage of Mammoth. Sort of the first win they've had in this bot lane here.
And somehow, you know, I thought this lane was going to get more difficult. As I keep mentioning, you know, the Civic can just burn abilities on the wave and keep the Mammoth bottom lane under turret. But King, off the back end of, you know, pretty poor early laning phase, now with that Vamp Scepter, has been able to farm up very, very nicely. And it seems to be that sustain war, that war of attrition, very heavily going in Mammoth's favor. Although now Fine lands.
A lot of damage coming down. King has to, wow, just takes it and runs away. Gonna force him out of wave. Gonna give Luch a free farm on this next wave. Oh, maybe not actually.
But the thing is that the annoying thing about anyone that can build Bork first, if you don't kill them, you lost the trade. You now don't have ultimate. You now don't have any mana available on your Lux. He walks into the wave, he starts hitting it. Yumi's already got a heal on her kit as well. All of a sudden, Lucian's full health, and you're like, wow, I can't do that again because I have to wait 50 seconds or whatever it is for my Lux ultimate to come back off cooldown. So when you go for those plays, I feel like you either have to know that it's just a trade and, you know, they're probably going to get a back off it or something like that, or you need to commit something like the Flash or the Sivir ultimate to be able to close that gap and go for the all-in.
Yeah, there we go. Ryoma pushing forward again. Low mana. Can't really make too much happen here. He's going to be looking for a blue or a back soon, I imagine. Looking at the gold, though, it looks like Mammoth, after that disaster early on, have started to sort of solidify this game a bit. They've got a bit of a gold lead due to CS. Mostly around, I believe it's the bot lane has a little bit extra. Actually, it's just a little bit across the board.
Yeah, just a little bit just picked up here and there. You can see Fudge is doing a really nice job in top lane. We already talked about the earlier rotation to 2 plays. He is down 4 CS, but when you've already tried to save BABIP at his Gromp and then you teleported mid with your first teleport, I can forgive a 4 CS margin because he really has been present on this map.
Yeah.
And I think that certainly when you have a look at these teams, there's a little bit more jockeying for position than you might have thought. I mean, it is now creeping out to about 1,000 gold lead for Mammoth, but I think Bombers have really hung tough here, and a lot of it has been generated off the back of this Olaf so far.
Absolutely. Spot lane here. King and Destiny have really pulled this one back. Early on, you were saying it was, well, we saw it pushed under the turret, and now it's gone the complete other direction. It is Sivir though, so, you know, a bit of mana, you can flip that wave on its head.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it is a fear of the Jarvan, right? Because Jarvan's
Yeah.
ganks are kind of unparalleled in
Out
this
of
bottom
nowhere.
lane. If you have a Lucian dash forward, you know, you get the Yuumi ultimate all of a sudden going across, you know, you have something like the slow from the Cutlass as well. I feel like that Jarvan gank is like real potent in the bottom lane and is going to guarantee flashes. So maybe Lucian Rogue letting the wave push into them for a little bit now, but it does mean that they're losing out on farm as this laning stage starts to progress, and Wilder trying to play very heavily around this top
This is
side.
spotted out. Wilder's caught at this buff. BABIP's coming in. Mid laner is backing, so he's not going to be able to come and support unless he cancels it. It's like he won't. Rift Herald is the jostle here. That's what they're going back and forth over. Bot lane though. Ult coming out. Just a bit of poke onto King, it looks like.
As I said, doesn't really matter, however.
Yep, looks like the TP coming through. Triple here. There's a 3v3 here for this Rift Herald. I guess Bombers are trying to reset it by juggling aggro a little bit, I'd imagine. Ryoma goes forward. A lot of damage onto BABIP. Does jump backwards, though. Looks like it's still back and forward here.
Yeah, but Mega Nard's just run out, so this is going to be a mini Nard. They have to get out. They can no longer fight, I feel.
Looking to maybe get some poke damage on this one. TP coming through. Looking to do it quite a bit. Someone takes that. I don't see quite who did that. Jarvan goes down here. LeBlanc blows him up. Olaf going to chase that one out as well. Looks like Mammoth may have taken that one. Olaf is down. Fudge pushing for, I believe, yep, he picks it up. So Mammoth also got the Rift Herald. Mimic escaping in the top lane.
Yeah,
Ooh, is he?
ulti comes out.
Oh, he's caught. In fact, King Destiny are up here as well. They're going to do some damage as they move forward here. The bot lane has been abandoned by these two. Rift Herald immediately popped top. They're looking for first turret here.
Yeah, they certainly are. They need to be able to push very quickly. However, Fudge doesn't have ulti, but does have teleport to get back into that lane. Really nice rotation out of Ryoma here, trying to bail Mimic out of a tough situation. In the end, it is just going to be traded. About 2 plates for 2 plates. Fairly good here for the Mammoth lineup, but good response from Bombers.
They got a plate just then, but no one's in range to grab it, so a bit of missed gold there, but I don't really get that anyway. But it looks like they've flipped the lanes around a little bit here. We'll see if Bombers decide to match it, or if it's going to reset back. But proactive play, next objective Inferno, as you see the jungle's already moving down towards that. Big one on the map here, and already started up by BABIP.
Yeah, certainly. BABIP, after a really rough early game, I feel like has somehow been able to get himself back into it. Has the farm advantage when I don't think he should have been able to have that. As well as the fact that he's now got both neutral objectives for his team, so terrible scoreline. No one likes to be 0-3, but with, you know, an Infernal Dragon, as well as the fact that you've already grabbed your team a Rift Herald, that's probably the best 0-3 scoreline you can have at this stage of the game.
He's a team player jungler right now. He's not worried about getting the 5-0 scoreline. He's like, I'm going to be a tank. I'm going to build Cinderhulk. I'm going to go and take these objectives and smite them. And I'm going to help my team win. And if you look at the team across the board, the rest of his team are 3-0. So he's doing that job very well.
Yeah, and I talk about this a lot. Normally when you see Electrocute Jarvan, you see the Warrior picked up because it synergizes so well for those early games. I feel like BABIP has made the adaptation saying, I'm going to fall down in this game, right? I'm not going to be able to duel this Olaf. I missed my window. I didn't get a good enough early gank off. I'm just going to cop the fact that I don't have Conqueror, go Cinderhulk, and probably go into something like an early Stoneplate, maybe even a Knight's Vow to be able to help King out in these fights. I'm going to be a beefy frontline. We don't have one, and we're not accelerated enough to play this game without a tank. I really like it when players are very good at identifying situations in-game. It's one thing to go into a game with a game plan.
Maybe
But
this
after that,
one
you
here,
need
and
to
they're
be able to
going in.
adapt.
Oh, going forward. Flash over the wall there. The Yuumi ult not going to hit anyone. They're turning around. The BABIP has to flash out. He's got low health. Here comes the... Oh, well, just gets killed. He gets turned around. Now Lucia's trying to run. Exhaust goes down. He's going to get taken out as well. And Luck's now in a bad position. Mammoth turned a great catch into a bad turnaround into a kill.
Yeah, absolutely, into 2 kills. And that was Wilder just trucking ahead with that Olaf ultimate on. And, you know, just taking the full force of the culling directly to the face. King, very good awareness. And Destiny holding summoner spells until the last moment, baiting the jungler in and turning a great gang. They'll grab first turret off that.
Absolutely. This game is spun completely around. Mammoth 3,000 gold lead. What was a bad early game from them with Babip getting caught out. They've said, you know what, let's slow it down. Let's farm for a bit. Let's pick our fights. And they've done that, and now they've got a nice lead.
Yeah, and I feel like, Rogue here trying to clear out some vision. Good call. Really nice flash. And it looks like a great turnaround kill, but Babip heads up to be able to flash the damage, and Wilder, you are not that tanky. You are a warrior, Olaf. You don't have any tank items at this stage of the game. May as well be playing Lee Sin, and when my Lee Sins just run headfirst into enemy teams, it is never a good sight.
Absolutely. That was a bit of a misplay from him. He's going to have to learn from that one. He's kept building with the damage, so he's sticking with the build. I'm very much just looking at Wilder and comparing him to Raze from earlier, and I feel like they're both new junglers to the league, and it's very interesting seeing the difference between the two.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Raze did play in the LMS, as I keep mentioning, has already made his trip towards Worlds, I believe. Wilder, on the flip side of that, this is a brand new guy out of solo queue. I assume help scouted by Mimic again, who's very good at spotting talent. Obviously would be able to duo with a lot of those guys over on the Korean server. And I think just really raw. In saying that, Volkan, when he came over, was really raw.
Yeah.
I remember watching
Similar
this
jungler,
guy,
yeah.
and he was like a feast or famine like machine, playing Evelyn. Like, he would go for double scuttles against Pyro, like get killed and keep forcing it. He would be that guy that would run into your lane as Olaf and throw an axe on your wave if you weren't pushing fast enough and be like, push and come with me. I feel like Wild is kind of a similar playstyle. It should have worked this game. Like, he should have had a couple of kills over Babip, and just credit to Babip and kind of the whole Mammoth lineup for being able to support Babip and keep him in this game, because the early game looked really rough for the Jarvan, but now outscaling.
Yep. It's good to see teams that can do that. A lot of teams, when you give them a lead, they'll take that to a win. That's not a hard thing in League of Legends. What's hard is recognizing when you aren't ahead and what you need to do to get yourself back in the game. And they're one of the best teams, for my opinion, to do that with Chiefs back in the old days.
Yep.
They would be 6,000 gold behind, and you still know they could win the game. Ryoma here, caught out, dive over the wall, Yuumi coming in, and Lucian is going to clean that kill up there. He's caught in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, that was kind of the last bastion of hope, right? Is we can win a 1-3-1 because Azir can't side lane. Well, all of a sudden, when you bring 4 members down, like, Azir can side lane as well as anyone because you're not really side laning by yourself. They will lose a little bit of mid prio, but once again, they're rotating Fudge, who, with his ultimate, very hard to dive. No support there for the 80 carry. Should be able to clear this one out, and this is just Mammoth kind of bullying the Bombers around Summoner's Rift right now.
Yep, they're finding the right plays, they're executing them cleanly, and then taking those small advantages. They're not trying to win the 5v5 fights here. They're trying to get the 1 pick, the 2 pick, and then turn that into a turret, right? Take the objective.
Yep.
Next one popping up is the Ocean Dragon in 30 seconds. That might be something they play for. It might leave it for later. But, now also the mid turret. That's the other one that we're going to look at soon. Are they going to take that one down and open up the map a bit for themselves?
But the scary thing, if you're playing Wit's End, top lane Gnar, and you're playing LeBlanc, you want a 1-3-1. So if Mammoth are beating you at the 1-3-1 right now, they've got the Azir and the full AP Yuumi for late game. So there's no way you're out teamfighting this team. So if you're losing the stage of the game that you're supposed to be winning as the Bombers, this just gets scarier. All of a sudden, it's the Bombers that are like, we have to commit to some hard plays because we can't let the Azir scale any further. He's already 20 CS up, and I think like this Dragon will be very telling. If Bombers don't fight it, I feel like Mammoth is just going to scale forever.
Absolutely. They're setting up for it here. Ryoma's in that brush. Mammoth don't see him. He comes out now. Wow, he's dead! King is dead! That's one down already. Lux is taken in reverse. Ryoma does so much damage. Can he turn that into another kill? Trip on the backside. He's moving forward. He's flashing out of the way.
Oh, Fudge.
Oh my god, Fudge does tons of damage as the ult comes down. Takes out the Ryoma. Mimic here, hitting the ult, but it might be a little bit too late in the fight. Fudge is low, and he's going to get flashed on. He's going to get taken out. Above him, of course, Luge is dead. Oh, I assumed he was going to get taken out. The stun comes down. He will get finished, but now it's a 3v1. Mimic will get cleaned up for the ace.
And that's what I said. You cannot team fight against this Mammoth comp. The Bombers feel pressured to do so, and Fudge teleports in and decimates the backline. That is with the perfect pick. Like, instantly at the start of that fight, King is not available. Yep. He gets blown up. We'll see it again. Like, if you are playing without an AD carry, which is the case here, that's great. You trade a support for it. You take that trade in every scenario. But it's on the back end here, the ability for Fudge to be able to land that snare, get a huge pop blossom, take down Ryoma on the back end, and then they just have the ability to kite out, stay as 5. This isn't a tank Gnar. This isn't damage Gnar. And, really rough team fight for the Bombers here. But once again, they're not a team fight comp, so the fact that they're at the stage of the game already where they feel like they have to team fight the Jarvan, the Azir, the full AP Nico is a very worrying sign.
Absolutely. Mammoth take the Dragon as their victory prize. They also got the mid lane during that. So the tier 1 is down. The map is opened up for them. Now, can they take this 6,000 gold lead and turn this into a 10,000 gold lead? Or can they turn this into a Baron? Or something that's really going to get them into a position where they can win this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now the game is exactly where they want to be. All of the gold is on their carries. BABIP has caught back up and now exceeded where Wilder is at. All of the outer ring of turrets is broken, and they still have 2 outers up and available. That means they can just park themselves at Baron. Mimic is going to have to go through like 3 turrets, has no teleport available. This is just a disastrous situation for the Bombers, and Mammoth have full control of everything.
Yep, you see Yuumi and Babip there doing so. Oh, going to the wall. Ryoma trying to catch King out again. King is just a Ryoma magnet this game. Steps forward to try and take out a ward and pays almost with his life for it.
Yeah, completely, and I think this is the last area, right? You have to continue to look for picks with your LeBlanc. I said that this game is going to hinge a lot around Ryoma. That happens when you save mid lane counter pick for 5th pick in a lot of these scenarios, and you know, credit to Ryoma, he's been able to find a couple of picks, but when you're 11 kills to 5 as the LeBlanc team, that feels real bad, man.
It does. See here, Mammoth prioritizing this vision on this Baron. They're moving around here, back and forth, trying to get into a position where they have vision. The enemy does not. Nah, does get that bottom lane turret. They're gonna that's a tier 1 bot, that's okay.
Really interesting item pickup here from Triple. He understands that he's going to do enough damage, but needs kind of some zone control, some presence in these fights. Goes back and gets himself a Rise Crystal Scepter. I think it's still 136 gold efficiency without the slow on it. It's a really cheap item, like 2,700 gold or something like that. Gives you some good HP, gives you some good survivability.
Yep, every auto from your soldier procs it. So the enemy team is just slowed permanently, essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of in that bracket with Liandry's and Morellonomicon at the moment. And, you know, if you're not cutting through any healing, which on this team you're not, and you're not really shredding any health because they once again aren't running a tank right now, I feel like it's a really nice pickup.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I play a little bit of this here, and when you get Rylai's, you have a ball. But obviously in a pro game, it's a little bit different, especially with Ryoma running around with LeBlanc. Mimic here, caught out. Triple trying to take him on 1v1. No rage bar for him. Mimic is low, and it looks like it is just going to be a straight 1v1 kill for Triple.
Yeah, really nicely done from Triple. You know, it looked like the Bombers wanted to threaten Baron, so they sent 3 members back to get that mid lane wave. I assume that Mimic thought at that stage, as I would have, well, they're not going for this pick anymore. But into straight up 1v1, Triple just eats him.
Yep. That's not good at all for him. No pressure bot. Now that wave is coming in. So the Azir and the Nico in this jungle looking to take some tower damage. If you rotate down here for this, you're giving up a bit of mid lane damage. So it's like pick your poison at this point in the game.
It certainly is. They don't have Baron available. Teleport available. So there is no real Baron threat. You should be able to defend this base turret at least. And you can see that Mammoth not greeding out for anything. And I've been saying it for a while, but Mammoth were a great team that just could not play on the OPL stage for some reason. Like, these players are exceptional players. Everyone apart from Fudge on this team has been in recent OPL finals, if not one recent OPL finals.
They all played last year's final.
Yeah, absolutely. And BABIP, like, sat there behind Carbon for so long, you know, the apprentice to the master, learning how to play the game, and had an explosive season. This was a guy that when Shern left the region, everyone assumed was going to surpass people like Spooks and become the best jungler in the region. And I feel like it kind of stalled Split 1. But this seems like Mammoth are much more comfortable now playing on stage and look to be a much more confident team.
Absolutely. We see Mammoth here moving back out onto the map, getting that vision around that Baron. It's been the focus for the last few minutes here. We'll see if they can set that up to start taking it. Pressure somewhere, of course, that is the next objective. Mountain is up in a minute. That's a nice one, but I mean, you can't really take the mountain here without giving up Baron if you are Bombers. Mammoth rotating through the jungle here, maybe the top lane, but there's no wave to push. This is just a jostle back and forth here. The key thing here is not to make a mistake if you're either team. Because with Ryoma on the Blanc, as well as the damage on Mammoth's side, a mistake is basically a lost team fight, and that's Baron.
Absolutely, especially on the case of Mammoth right now. If they win the next team fight, that's going to be Baron. That's probably going to be the game. So the Bombers really have one chance left. In saying that, you know, all it takes is one big ult out of the Gnar into, you know, sick damage coming out of the Sivir, and you can win these team fights. But Baron now being snuck, Benji.
Baron is being snuck and it's being started. Here come Bombers. They smell something's up. It's not about
So
half
fast.
up. Can they get the ward in the pit? Do they know what's going on now. Over the wall, but it comes in with the Yuumi. That's a lot of damage coming down. Lux is dead. They've peeled immediately off the Baron. Looking for the Olaf here. Wilder taking a lot of damage. If they can take the jungler out, they can take out the Baron. Fudge takes a lot of damage. Does Zonya's, but Ryoma pinned from every direction. He's dead. Wilder, Luch do survive, and Mimic on the bottom side here with no rage. Mammoth going to return back to the Baron. Can they take this out? Remember, this jungler is still alive. He needs to be able to get in the pit, though. Luch and Mimic can do a little bit of poke over the wall. See how this one goes. This is a steal. This is what Bombers are looking for here.
Yeah,
They're not going to fight them off this.
Crucially, Wilder still has ulti. Over the wall again goes Babbitt.
Move over the wall, followed by a triple. There's the ult coming out. They're going to ult him away. King is still in the pit. He's left alone. In fact, this team is split up. Looks like they're trying to chase down Luch, who's out of the fight at this point. Mimic is ulted. He's going to get jumped on. There's the smash by Babip. He still has his ult, I believe, but going to back away. Baron has reset again, and whilst Bombers did lose 2, they didn't lose the Baron yet.
Yeah, exactly right. Real crucial defend there from Wilder, Mimic, as well as Luch. You can see that they are backing away now. The Bombers immediate TP to get back onto map. And that's a completed Leandry. So I kind of said that LeBlanc wins until 3 items and then Azir wins. Well, triples on 3 items. So this game's going to be very difficult to win.
We will. 5-0. He's silently having a great game.
Yep.
We were very critical of the Azir, but I mean, in the end, sometimes the player can outperform the pick.
Absolutely. And he's a terrific Azir player. And I always say this about Oath League of Legends. If you ignore meta in Oath, you generally perform better. Like, Direwolves never played anyone's meta for Direwolves meta when they were at the top. The Chiefs have always been the slow, methodical teamfight comp because Swiper is such a big part of that team's comms, and that's the way he likes to play the game. You know, you could just sit there and rattle off so many teams. Legacy even were, you know, playing things like Master Yi and Graves top when they were making their run, you know, in 2015. So I think that we put too much onus on, you know, playing kind of the Korean way or the best way versus just picking champs that you're good at. And right now you can see Triple putting on a masterclass with this Azir.
Absolutely. Back to this position again. Been here a little bit during this game, and we're back to 5v5, although Nara's rotating up from bot. Babip caught out a little bit. It's not really a target you can burst down, though. Going to turn it around, but he's going to have to get away from
Rogue's
that
in
one.
trouble.
Rogue is in a lot of trouble. Squeaky Ghost comes in. He's just dead from the culling. Wow, Nico follows that one up. Wilder has jumped on. Nico is going to ult in the middle of nowhere. He got CC'd as well. Bombers looking to disengage here. And they do get away with only 1 death.
Yeah, they got exactly what they wanted, however. They got the flash out of Wilder. You know, you take away the blast cone. How does he now get into this Baron pit?
He's got to walk
he
all the way around.
certainly does not. You know, through an Azir wall, through everything else they have. So now this becomes fight or lose Baron for the Bombers.
Wilder's not going to get there in time. That Baron is on 3k health. Remember trying to jump in to slow it down. He can't get over the wall. It's on 2k. Mimic on the bot side's getting killed by Triple. That Leandry's doing a ton of work. They're holding on to the Baron. Wow, the Baron gets taken by Java. Ryomu went for it. He does get killed. Nah down. Olaf down. It is just 2 left here. They're looking for Ryoma. He's going to escape, and so is Luch for now. But big fight won there by Mammoth.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they already have a top lane wave prepped. You can see King pounces on that with Fudge, Triple, as well as Destiny. They're going to look to push in here. You can see Babip already prepping mid lane wave as well. They want to be able to break the base in at least one area and still have a wave to retreat to.
Absolutely. Here comes the push in. Luch trying to clear the wave. But against that super creeps, Baron up creep, sorry, it's not going to do much. Luch is CC'd, they go to the backside. Oh my goodness, he's dead. Nico does so much damage. And they're going to push in and take out this inhibitor. Mid lane turret down, Babip coming in as well. If they keep getting kills, this game's going to end very shortly.
Yeah, it certainly could be. Ryoma in trouble here. Picks up a kill.
Wow, you got Nico in from the backside. Ryoma with fancy footwork. King and Yumi are chasing him down. They do CC him. The tower is there. It's the Azir turret. That's going to clean him up as well.
Yeah, this could be the game, Benji. They're looking to keep going.
Still 4 alive, of course. Rogue down as well. Now it is a 4v2. Mimic is alive and Wilder's running away. Mimic down. This is going to be it. Wilder's going to get taken out as well. There is no one left here from Bombers. They are all dead. Luch up in 10 seconds. But if Mammoth want to, they can push down here and win.
Yeah, it certainly looks like they want to. King teleports back in. Luch still 5 seconds away. Both Nexus turrets gone. This game should be for Mammoth.
This is absolutely over here. Mammoth, they didn't get the greatest start in this game, but you know what? They played it slow. They slowed it down, and they showed that they are true force this split in the OPL.
And for anyone that has watched Mammoth scrims, this is terrifying. Because finally the team, the super team that was built up together is translating, you know, backstage performances now onto the OPL stage. That's the Bombers. That's the defending champions. These guys are no slouches. But that is just a masterclass on how to slow the game down, get it back on your terms, and then smash a team in the mid to late game.
Yeah, they are 3-0 now. Only team undefeated in the league. Every other team
and they've gone through Bombers
lost.
and Chiefs.
That's the top 2. From last split, at least. So it's an order, of course. They've still got to play order. I missed that one.
Debatable.
In the regular split, they were 1 and 2.
That's all right. We're 1-2 at the moment. We're trash.
Oh, we'll see. But, I mean, still a few more games to go, right? At the end of week 3, day 1, we'll know sort of if they are 7-0.
Yep.
And right now, if you talk to them, I'm sure they're looking at that going, yeah, we think we can do it. But, you know, with Bombers down and Chiefs down, you've got to look at some of these other teams and go, okay, who can take these guys down?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Chiefs have shown some really good gameplay so far. I think they've played sloppy in areas as well, but it's still early season. I know they did take a break for once in their life. Chiefs play like so much League of Legends that it's nice to see the players actually step away from the mouse and keyboard every now and again. So I think that would be coming hard for Mammoth. But in my eyes, certainly a clear 1-2 right now in the OPL. And I would, make a very convincing argument that Mammoth is currently first, playing a rotating roster with a 17-year-old top laner that is only going to get better as the split progresses. Like, certainly a terrifying lineup.
Yeah. Fudge is a player that right now is making waves. He's looking good, but his real lacking is his stage experience. He hasn't played on stage yet. And as he plays, he's going to be in the OPL for years if he wants to be. And he's a player that's going to get better and better.
Absolutely. I don't think he's going to be in the OPL for years because he is someone that you look at as a 17-year-old and you just pluck him out and take him somewhere else. That's against Mimic, The challenger Korean guy that's come over
the MVP
and
from last
absolutely dominated the OPL, has revolutionized top lane and was the MVP of the whole damn league, voted by the captains of last split. So certainly for a 17-year-old, that is a big scalp to take in only match number 2 for Fudge.
It is a big scalp to take. Well, to be honest, to break down that game and how Mammoth look in this game, let's send it over to the couch.
Terrible throw, Benji. It was sitting there ready for you to go. Speaking of big scalps, the hairline, my goodness. Mammoth and Bombers. I mean, it's a flip from what we saw last split.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Mammoth just keeping the bloody dream alive. You know what I mean? Currently sitting undefeated so far, wanting to kind of keep the track record going. But on the other side of the coin, I think Bombers, in a more holistic sense, feels like a rough time to be Ryoma. Out of all of their games, like you take a step back, it really does seem like a lot of the time it gets to a point in these games where it is Tommy versus the world.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this wasn't the game. They were able to pull that out.
Yeah, and if we think back towards draft, there's actually a couple things that I do think the Bombers should look back on the drawing board. If you're going to go for Sivir and Olaf in your first 2 champions out of the 3, and you don't ban the Jarvan and you instead ban the Trundle, when they have a Yuumi up, you're actually drafting yourself into a giant hole or a cataclysm in this case, because there is no escape, right? And with the way the early game went, both junglers duking it out, Olaf playing very well, gets the first kill. The immediate response from Babip, and this is really good from Babip, he goes and steals 2 jungle camps, now has jungle tempo in a disadvantage against the Olaf that can 1v1 him, and he'll always be relevant. And at that point in the game, I would rather be Babip than I would Wilder.
Yeah.
And that's where it started to spiral out of control.
Because we were kind of laughing at a certain point. You look at it and solo lane is a level 5, jungle is a level 3, and we're just like, wow, like the junglers have been like duking it out and falling significantly far behind, and it got into this kind of weird state that you don't see that often. And then eventually, despite the deficit, Babbitt comes out on top. Mammoth, they just like play sort of standard stuff. Bombers are trying to get their 1-3-1 working, but it never really eventuated. Anytime somebody went to the side lane, they just got picked on. Mimic, he built like Wit's End into Frozen Malady, went for the hardcore like split push build. Couldn't make it work, and front to back, yet Nazir in a team fight, and it's good.
I'm feeling good for Mammoth. I mean, like, it was last split, it was hard. Walking past them in the hallway, there was a real sense of pressure, fear, dejection, confusion. Like, they really were a team that felt mentally in their heads in a really negative way. And it just feels 100% different.
They've said it themselves as well, there, right? Like, Triple says they're a bunch of emotional players. So the fact that they're able to start with this momentum, I think, is only good for them. Proof in the pudding that they can get the wins. I would say there's maybe 1 or 2 teams that have cursed them. Chiefs through the regular season started with a win against them. AV's the other one that I think personally spiraled them a little bit through the loss streaks with the Mordekaiser game. That was really where they took the dip. So I think that might be the last team left in terms of curses. But they even beat them last split.
There you go. All right, well, congratulations, Mammoth. Congratulations to all our teams today. And congratulations to you guys. You guys have sent in some comic submissions. None of them matched the grandeur that was the Very Hungry Hairline. But let's just quickly roll through them and pick a winner. The first one comes in from Davo Erlo, I believe.
Yeah, Davo Erlo.
There you go. League of Legends logic. Haha, they'll never find me in here. And then all the champions are just very confused about where
If
they
they
are.
had a Kiana, they certainly would.
Certainly.
Certainly.
certainly
They
would.
certainly would. They'd walk around with a little lawnmower.
Exactly.
Goodbye, Bush.
He said that this was inspired from our play in ARAM last week, so hopefully we'll do better this one. Next one comes in from Hazardolly. Give me the phone charger, Bryce. Did you know a zipper could lock?
You're a bloody Duracell, mate.
I'm a battery.
You are. You're a battery head. Look, I'm going to heavily criticize the Photoshop matting skills because there is not a smooth.
Look, everybody can use the smart
The
detect.
magnetic one?
Yeah, like
it's just not that hard.
You just set the range or the
Yeah.
radius or whatever, and it's
This is a
like
very hungry hairline on
Yeah.
Spawn here, though.
that is a very hungry hairline. Oh, God.
Oh my god.
Next one comes in from Puny One. Hazardoli says it was done in Snapchat.
Punu.
No excuse. Puny One, look at this. Nick plays League. It's the Avengers poster. And I feel like we've covered it just enough to not infringe any copyright.
What is the thing on the far right? Oh, it's a glass of milk.
It's a glass of milk. Oh, because of the chilies.
Yeah.
Sleeping Bailey. There's all the, obviously, the play-by-plays who have died.
The thing with this is I need to go look at the poster now and see what we are. Like, what
Yeah.
have we been directly
Yeah, who am
compared
I?
to?
I think Bryce is Captain America. That is
Yeah.
Captain America.
Or Captain
so well done,
OPL.
Bryce. You got the
Oh,
best
I'm Captain
one.
OPL and it's a
Captain
round
OPL.
shield. Yeah, I'll be Captain
Oh,
OPL.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, you got
Sick.
the best one. This one comes in from
Infinity Skinny.
Mars 903302116. Get the heck out of Dodge. Carrying
actually-
lemons, riding a kangaroo.
I really like this one.
Do you rate
It's
this one?
actually
I actually rate this one. Get the heck out of Dodge. Honestly, years ago, I just had no clue. Like, that's definitely like a caster term
Yep.
that just got passed around these parts. And then I think I've said it now, and I didn't even like it. You know what I mean? It just gets passed down from generation of OPL
Mainly
casters.
Jake.
Spawn's pointing at
Spawn's
himself.
just pointing at himself.
Hmm.
He's taking the heat for that one. Stickman San sent in our next one, which I believe we have there. The name could be wrong. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just going to
Boy,
say it's
Premier
Stickman
League.
San because I think it's
NPL.
the right one. Yeah, the MPL. Issue
Now-
number 1, A Howl into the Abyss. I like this one.
Yeah, this Photoshop job is significantly better.
Can I also say it's fulfilling the brief, which was a comic book cover
True.
as well, not just
Also,
a picture.
If you don't like the comic book, you get to randomize because we have one reroll left.
There
it's
you
like,
go.
all right, this one sucks. Let's go on to the next one.
My only gripe with this is it looks like My Name is Ejim. Even though
Yeah,
the names are
it
referencing
does.
That's
the
the
people
first
below
thing
me.
that I saw as well.
Interesting. But it does show off Bryce and my hairline very well. And again, Jake's hair completely disappeared from this, so I don't know what's going on. Really sets the theme. And then finally, this one was sent in. Cannot win, unfortunately, because it's a AV player affiliated with their OCS team. But Elo Os sent in our final submission. It's a banger.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
wish it could win, because it's fantastic. A Man's Obsession, Rusty there.
You
I
got
really
something to
wish
tell
I had
me,
a
Zach?
poster of you now, that's all. Well, I did draw you on a couch, so there may be some kind of subconscious obsession there I'm not sure or aware of.
Potentially, we'll find out. And apparently, we do have one more. This one comes in
Ooh.
from Sasha. I have not seen this one.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh.
Keanu,
Yeah.
OPL new champion. You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
No more Lux skins.
Yeah.
That's a Silas quote. One
June
of my favorite
2019.
Silas quotes is no more mages or no more cages. I forget which one now.
Who do we think should win?
I'm actually all about get the heck out of Dodge.
Really?
That one spoke to me.
Wow.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Rusty?
Oh, well, I like the Stickman Sand one, and the last one was actually just really good because I think it's the only one that we've had that's drawn. Like a drawn submission.
All right, it's down to me. Stickman San, I reckon. It's the comic book cover. It
Oh,
tells
is it the
story.
actual comic book
the
cover?
Actual
Yeah,
comic
yeah,
book
yeah,
cover.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on. Like,
Yeah.
like
And you
fulfill
know
the brief.
what? He is pandering to the audience.
Very
right
much
now.
so.
Like, if you want, this competition could be won by just
know-
submitting our faces.
You know,
is
the
what we've learned
best
from this.
thing about this is I really hope that we go into game right now and we just get to demolish Stickman Sam.
That would be fantastic.
in a bunch of ARAMs. That'd be a great time. He gets the winner, win the prize, and then we take him down a peg.
Take him down a peg.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great plan. Of course, Bryce is referencing the MPL, which is on in just a moment. But first, we need to go through the results from today. An exciting day with some surprises, I would say. Chiefs taking down Gravitas. Not necessarily a surprise, but surprising the way that it did
super
play
close.
out. Avant Gaming versus Legacy, a surprise because Avant, I mean, who the hell knows who's on that team any day of the week. Direwolves taking down Order, the biggest surprise of the night, obviously. And then Mammoth, fulfilling expectations, I would say, to round us out, taking the win over Bombers. Tomorrow, equal amount of bangers. Gravitas versus Direwolves, game number 1. Bombers versus Chiefs for game 2. Legacy take on Mammoth. And then finally, Order. Can they redeem themselves against Avant? Fielding a team of, again, who knows? Rusty's not telling.
Nope.
Is he?
Nope.
Well, it hasn't been locked yet.
Spawn's still in
Locks
the
at
room.
midnight
Spawn's still in
tonight.
the room. When Jake walks out, you'll whisper it to the audience as we go to our final graphic. Something else to whisper about. MEO's coming up. Tell your friends, but whisper it to them. Melbourne Esports Open, our grand final live on stage Saturday the 31st of August at the Melbourne Esports Open. Head to melbourneesportsopen.com.au/tickets to get it. It's a hell of an event all over, not just the OPL.
One would say banger.
One would say
Tends to
banger.
be the
One
word
would
of the
say
night.
banger.
This one would. We would love to see you there. It was so much fun doing that last year. Such a great crowd. We know you'll all be back and you will bring your friends as well. A massive thank you as well to our sponsors for the evening, McDonald's, the official partner of the OPL. Thank you very much. I'll take however many nuggets you want to send to the studio for me. M-Wave, official retailer of the OPL. Thank you very much for providing the kit. HyperX, official headset of the OPL and official headset now of Stickman San. Congratulations, Stickman. You're getting this one. HyperX, you're going to have to send us some more. And finally, thank you to Benji, who is the official play-by-play for this week for the OPL. Who knows what's going to happen? He truly is the Avant Gaming of the casters, of the casting crew. We're heading into... Well, you never know who's going to sit there.
I'm pretty sure I'm the official Avant Gaming of the casting crew, just while we're on it.
Fair.
That makes a lot of sense.
Fair. I just meant that it's a rotating
Yeah.
seat. Rotating seats. We're going to move out of these ones and into the NPL. We're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll be back with Nick Plays League. We are all going to take on some viewers in a custom lobby. The password to that lobby will be announced on stream just before we start the game. So come along. It's going to be
A banger!
a banger. See you in a sec.